Part 1. My Childhood. From the Great Leap to the Dawn of the Cultural Revolution, 1958 to 1966. Chapter 1. My Name. From Rectification to Vibrating Wind, 1958. Shanghai, 1958. A city alive with intense ambition yet stifled by political pressure. It was the era of the Great Leap Forward, marked by people's communes, red flags waving proudly, and glowing steel furnaces as China aspired to outproduce Britain and the U.S. Yet it was also a time of profound fear. The anti-rightist campaign had just unfolded, resulting in tens of thousands labeled as threats to the state. The Great Famine loomed ominously, an impending disaster yet to be revealed. I was born amidst this chaotic backdrop. Reflecting on it now, the tale of my name feels almost like folklore, one of those partially true stories shared but never officially validated. However, in my childhood in China, rumors often contained more truth than the newspapers. For many years, I experienced a peculiar detachment, even a subtle hostility, toward anything associated with my birth. I knew the fundamental facts. I was born in Shanghai in 1958. Yet the finer details? I had pushed them away. Unlike David Copperfield from Charles Dickens's story, who could confidently state he was born at midnight, I had intentionally wiped out all memories of that moment. It wasn't that no one had attempted to share the story. My mother did so repeatedly. But for reasons I couldn't articulate, I dismissed her narratives. Every time she started with,
"Little Fang, when I gave birth to you, your aunt came,"
I would either storm off, frown, or throw a tantrum. My mother, always calm and gentle, found it bewildering, unable to grasp my sudden, unexplainable anger. Poor mother. She could never grasp why her generally quiet and polite son overreacted to a simple retelling of his birth. Perhaps the answer lay in something that had troubled me for years, the way others spoke about me. During my visits to my grandmother's house, my dear aunts and cousins often regarded me with a mix of affection and teasing.
"Little Feng certainly resembles a girl."
Initially, it seemed like a casual remark. However, they refused to let it go.
"Look at his delicate features.
Such lovely traits. He could almost pass for a little girl."
They repeated these lines frequently, not with malice, but persistently. The toughest part? It was the women I truly cared for. My aunts and cousins pampered me, making me feel valued. How could I be angry with them? Still, I felt an overwhelming annoyance at their remarks. I wanted to rebel, to retaliate against them for stirring these feelings, but I was unsure how. Instead, I directed my frustration toward the only person I could safely attack, my mother. After all, she was the one who had brought me into this world. Thus, I committed an act that was both cruel and ridiculous. I pushed her away. I avoided discussing anything related to my infancy or birth. Gradually, she became wary of me. When friends or family were around, she would look at me before speaking, carefully selecting her words, fearful of upsetting me again. Even by the time of her passing, she remained unaware of my peculiar aversion, as I had never shared it with her. Years later, after mustering the courage, I asked my younger sister if she remembered anything our mother said about my birth, but she just shook her head.
"Mom might have mentioned something, but I've forgotten."
Everything vanished. The specifics of my birth erased. Suppressing free speech leads to dire repercussions. Yet, my sister retained one memory. She kept one solitary piece of knowledge, one remnant of my lost paradise. It was about my name, Zhenfeng Yang. The name translates to vibrating wind, though it wasn't the original name intended for me. My father first named me Zhengfeng Yang, which means rectification. In 1958, while my mother was pregnant with me, the Shanghai Communist Party was engaged in a political campaign called Party Rectification. This process was more than merely ideological. It served as a means to purify, eliminating dissenters and compelling party members to adhere strictly. My mother, a committed party member and cadre of the Shanghai Municipal Commerce Bureau, was required to participate in this initiative. Meanwhile, my father, who worked at the Bureau but had not joined the party, likely viewed it as an opportunity to show his loyalty and dedication. As a result, he named me Rectification. When my father revealed the name, his colleagues at the Bureau fell silent. Soon after, whispers filled the room.
He's naming his son Rectification?
This is Shanghai, not a rural village. Does he even realize what he's doing?
Even the party leaders became anxious.
Rectification pertains to internal party affairs. You're not even a member yet, and you're naming your son after an internal political campaign? What are we supposed to feed him? Will people be scared of him? Won't they steer clear? If everyone associates your son with rectification whenever they see him, isn't that much?
My father stood there in shock. This was Shanghai, a city rich in culture and political nuances. However, in his eagerness to prove himself, he had overstepped a boundary. The name needed to be removed. Thus, it was downgraded from Zhengfeng Yang, rectification, to Zhenfeng Yang, vibrating wind. A compromise that softens the political edge while retaining the essence of the original spirit. Yet, the tale of my name goes beyond a mere bureaucratic change. Even before my birth, I was inadvertently caught up in the gears of Communist Party politics. I was pulled into ideology long before I took my first breath or laid eyes on the world. As if my life had already been swept into a political storm, a wind that would follow me, shape me, define me. Not just a gentle breeze, but a force, one that would shake the world.